Welcome back, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting. This is the SCSRA Blue Ridge Auto Group Truck Series. As I realize that my name's never changed up on my board. There we go. As we're getting ready for 110 laps here at Chicagoland. Here, race number 3 of the new truck season. Take a look at the leaderboard. Brandon Zimmerman, last week's winner, currently fastest up on the leaderboard. Austin Schultz, a newcomer, currently second quickest. Devin Butchino, Mike Moultrie, and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, your top 5. So a couple drivers we normally don't see up at the front, a couple new faces up at the front as well. So it's going to be a great race here tonight as we get ready to do battle. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. Whoops. Forgot to trim that down a little bit. There we go. Joseph Wright, still your points leader. Devin Zimmerman sits back in second. He is locked into the championship with his win last week. Devin Butchino, Brandon Zimmerman, and Jay Stinson, your other winner, first winner of the season. Currently back in 5th. Then we got some ties back there. Eddie Morrison 6th. Then we've got a tie for 7th between Nicholas Fuller and John Lynch. And then a 4-way tie for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th between Ryan Merle Jr., Brett Merle, Michael Provolt, and David Wright. So already the points are starting to get tight here early in the SCSRA Blue Ridge Auto Group Truck Series. We got about 50 seconds left here in practice. Let's take a look at drivers out on the track. Our 4th quickest driver, the 14, Nick Fuller, making his way around the racetrack. And Chicagoland Speedway, a really unique track. And the reason why is the backstretch is not straight. And it makes it, it's a little unique in that aspect. It changes the way drivers have to drive down the backstretch. The other thing we're going to be interested in tonight is fuel mileage, especially in the first stage here. The pit window is anywhere between lap 30 and 33, and our stage is on lap number 35. So some drivers may try to stretch it here tonight. Qualifying about to get underway here tonight. Let's see who our first driver is to make their way out onto the racetrack. And it looks like it's going to be Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence getting ready to roll off onto the racetrack. There he goes. Also see Riley Gomes just coming out onto the racetrack. Nick Fuller resetting now. Brandon Zimmerman out onto the racetrack. Eddie Morris in those patriotic colors here tonight. Rolling out onto the racetrack. A couple different paint jobs tonight. We know Eddie Morris is going to be running this one. We know Devin Butchino is running a little different paint job here tonight, running the Morris Customs paint job. Riley Gomes is one of the first drivers to take the green flag on the first of 2 laps here tonight. And the first few laps, you'll see these drivers, they're going to be wide open, not even having to lift around Chicagoland Speedway. But as the run goes on and the fuel lightens up and the tires start to wear out, these drivers are going to be lifting more and more each and every lap. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence currently jumps to the top of the board. Now Brandon Zimmerman up at the top of the leaderboard. Riley Gomes goes 3rd. Nick Fuller, Michael Provolt, Tyler Aspinall, and Eddie Morris up into the 3rd spot now. To Michael Provolt from the Fortuna Iron Machine, coming down the backstretch into turn number 3. Richardson just coming across the start-finish line. Start his white flag lap. Ryan Jones down turns 3 and 4. They're loose there. Big wiggle out of the 55 machine. Comes down across the straight. Looks like Gomes is going to stay in the 12th position there. There's Matthew Fritz down across. A little different look for Fritz. We usually see him in the purple 29. Tonight we see him in the teal Navy Rays machine. As Eddie Morris jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. Driver here, driver 56, Austin Schultz. Final turn 3s and 4, running a little bit higher lane. You see a big bumps there. This track is an older track, a lot of character as that 56 across the stripe. This first lap is going to be good enough for the 16th position. Now this time he's going to run right down on the white line through turns 1 and 2. You see the back of the truck step out a little bit. He's able to hold on to it though. Nice little save. But how much time does that cost him as he makes his way now to turns 3 and 4? Off of turn number 4, down towards the stripe. And Schultz is going to move up into... He's not going to move. He actually ran a little bit slower on that second lap. Here's the 17 of Daniel Wiles. Coming to take the checker flag on his second lap. Part of America Racing. And he is going to jump up into the 7th position. Brian Merle Jr. in the 13. Here comes across the stripe. Jump up into the 10th position. Here's the 68 Devin Butchno in that orange machine. That Morris Customs paint job. Out on the racetrack. Joey Hickox out on the racetrack as well. Dave Hartney just starting his lap. Other new driver here, Mike Moutre Jr. As 24 comes down to the stripe, takes the checker flag in his attempt. And 24 is going to jump up into the 6th position. Joey Hickox coming down in the backstretch into turn number 3. Hickox comes across the stripe, and he is going to go 7th quickest. Wilksboro comes down across the stripe. Where's the 68 going to slide into? He's going to jump up to 8th, and then the only other driver left to qualify is the 43 of David Hartney. Chases that truck up the track and down across the stripe. And Hartney is going to go up into P13. So that is going to do it here for qualifying. As we get ready to go racing in just a few moments. Of course, we want to thank all of our great partners here on Intensity Broadcasting, including Race EPI. For all your iRacing coaching and setup needs, visit raceepi.com. Check out our website over at intensitybroadcasting.com. You can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, not just of Intensity gear, but all your favorite leagues as well, including the SCSRA, as well as Atlee Atman Weiss' racing gear and a couple other drivers local to the Langley area as well. Of course, don't forget to check out our great partner over at Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is an established and well-known leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Their patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you over at thebuttkicker.com. Not just do they have racing gaming haptics, you can also check out at the Butt Kicker to find out what movie theaters around you actually use Butt Kicker technology to give haptic feedback for movies. You can also get haptic feedback for listening to music and movies at home. So check them out over at thebuttkicker.com. Well, we've got about a minute left here in qualifying. Let's take a look at the race info here. We see that oddly shaped backstretch here at Chicagoland Speedway. So you see how the backstretch isn't really straight, has a bit of a curve to it. So you'll be watching the drivers deal with that all race long. 79 degrees, 54% humidity. Let's take a look at what the track temperature actually looks like right now. You see that the air temperature is 79 degrees, 54% humidity, but 122 degree track temperature. So a hot, slick track. Watch these drivers, the slip slide all race long. It's going to be a good one for them out here tonight. We have heard in practice that drivers getting on the outside of another driver can actually cause the driver on the inside to get loose and get the air sucked off the spoiler. And we see a couple incidents in practice because of that. Looks like these guys are starting to figure it out, though. So hopefully that should not be a problem in the race. Fuel mileage, it's going to come down to it. The fuel window is going to be somewhere between 32 and 34 laps. And the stage will be on lap number 35. So any drivers trying to stretch it, they might be able to make it, but it's going to be close. Especially with the rule, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's first take a look at our starting grid. Starting with your pole sitter, the number 8, Eddie Morris, with Devin Zimmerman to his outside in position number 2. Nick Fuller is going to roll off from 3rd with Matthew Fritz in the 4th position. Jono Lynch and Mike Moultrie will round out row number 3. Joey Hickox will roll off from the 7th spot in the 3 machine with Devin Bucciano in the Morris Customs machine rolling off 8th. Jay Stinson and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence round out row number 5. Row 6 would be Daniel Wiles with Tyler Aspinall in the 12th position. 13th would be David Hartley with Brian Miller Jr. to his outside in the 14th position. 15th will be Joseph Wright with Rick Ward starting in 16th. 17th is Brandon Zimmerman and Riley Gomes back in the 18th position. 19th, Richard Hurst and Charles Balance, followed by Brett Merle and Mike Provault back in row number 11. Row 12 will find Cole Owens and Blaze Richardson. Ryan Gomes and Dave Wright will roll off row 13, and rounding out the field will be the 27 of Andrew Schultz. So here we go. Eddie Morris going to lead them down to the starting zone. Again, ready for the pace truck to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Field tightening up behind our leaders here. As the green flag is in the air, we are racing here tonight at Chicagoland. Already that bottom lane, some heavy advantage going down into turn number 1. The draft is going to be a huge part of things here tonight. But as I mentioned, the first couple laps is wide open. You see that curved backstretch. They make their way down into turn number 3 and 4. Trying to look to the outside of Eddie Morris, but as they come off the turn number 4, Eddie Morris goes out in front side. We do a side-by-side battle. Back for the 4th position. We see Mike Wilksboro trying to work to the outside of John Lynch. Now he's coming to the outside of last week's winner, Devin Zimmerman. Nick Fuller is taking over the lead as Eddie Morris is going back. He'll lose more positions as he's being pushed right now by the 24 of Wilksboro. Just slide in solidly to the 2nd position. John Lynch and Devin Zimmerman battle side by side. We got a caution out on the racetrack as we see Jay Simpson in the 31 sideways and backwards against the outside retaining wall. That's going to bring out our first wreckage rewind of the night. As we take a look here to see what happened to the 31 machine. Looks like he's battling with Joe Wright back here, the 65 of Brandon Zimmerman. And makes a little bit of contact with one of the rookies, hard into the outside wall. Who is that right there? Not really sure who that was that made contact with him. See if we can get another view here. This might give us a better view of who. Looks like that was Tyler Aspinall. Just two drivers trying to fight for the same piece of real estate right there. He's at 31 up into the outside wall. Take a look at the 45 machine as it looks like he's going to dive down onto pit road here. Along with pretty much a few drivers going to come down pit road. So I don't think he's going to use his reset here because it doesn't look like he has any damage to that 45 machine. However, coming down onto pit road now was probably a pretty smart idea, as we mentioned. The fuel window being right there between 32 and 34. Everybody from 12th on back will be able to make the stage now. However, everybody who's out there now should be able to make the stage as well with the caution coming out. Should be able to save enough fuel here. Drivers 12th on back guaranteed that they will make it to the stage. Tomorrow night, you can join Noma Racing. They will have the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series taking on Darlington Speedway tomorrow night. So if you like watching cars slip slide around an old racetrack, Darlington is the place to be. Tune in tomorrow night on Noma. Of course, if you like watching trucks slip slide around, join us next week, as the Truck Series will be taking on Bristol Dirt. I know it's a very controversial topic here in the SCSRA. Some drivers love it, some drivers hate it. But it's going to be an interesting one next week as the field makes their way around the dirt track at Bristol. Well, lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here. with your leader, Nick Fuller, choosing the inside lane, putting Eddie Morris up on the high side. Mike Moultrie going to be down on the bottom with John Lynch up on the high side. And Matthew Fritz and Devin Butchino back in row number 3. Pace truck takes that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Chicagoland. Eddie Morris not getting a very good start here down into turn number 1. He's going to lose quite a few positions as John Lynch is going to move down to the inside of the machine. He's going to fall all the way back into the 4th position. Right there on his back bumper, trying to make something happen as well. Just behind us is Devin Butchino. Losing a position to the 17th with Little Wiles, and we got Joe Wright right back behind as well. Eddie Morris under attack now from the 29 of Matthew Fritz. I don't know if this guy's saying what he's trying to do right now. Unfortunately, he is in the process of going backwards. Joe Wright tucks it behind and down to the inside. Now Joe's going to follow suit and go down to the inside as well. Up front, we got a battle for the lead. Nick Fuller and Mike Mucho going at it side by side. Caution back on the racetrack. It looks like it's for, Chuck Balance. Brett Merle involved, and Jay Stinson making his way right through there. Definitely Brett Merle and Chuck Balance were involved in that one. That's going to bring out our second Wreckage Rewind of the night. So you see Balance trying to come down the race. Oh, that was just total net code. A mile between those two trucks. Both drivers hard into the outside wall. The driver's able to make some evasive action there and get through that one. Let's see. A little bit of contact back here. Evasive move from the 55 of Gomes. Able to sneak on through there. However, one driver that is Rick Ward. Not able to get through there as easily. But that's just pure net code right there. And if you don't know what net code is, these drivers racing all over the world, iRacing can only know where, tries to guess the best it can of where these trucks are on the racetrack. And when you see two drivers get within a couple feet of each other and it causes the wreck, that is what we like to call net code. Unfortunately, it's just a part of online racing. Electrons can only travel over the world at the speed of light. There is a limit to that, so sometimes those things do happen. So. It looks like Nick Fuller is going to take over the lead, so he was ahead when the caution came out. Microphone is low volume and the trucks are loud. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit here. Hopefully that fixes the sound of the trucks. Let me see if I can turn up my microphone a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better there, getting that volume up for you guys. Let me know if that fixes it there as the trucks come down for the green flag. We are back racing here at Chicagoland Speedway. Another great jump for the 14 of Nick Fuller. This time John Lynch right there on the back bumper trying to make something happen. Much better, glad to hear. Sorry about that. Like my settings got a little wonky there as Joe Wright is all over the back bumper of the 17, washes up the track right in front of Matthew Fritz. Now Devin Butchino taking a look down to the inside of Joe Wright as the field was 3 wide for a second. Devin Butchino and Matthew Fritz battling it out here for the 6th position. Eddie Morris, David Hartney right behind. Wow, John Lynch starting to have a little bit of a challenge here from the 17 of Daniel Wiles. And up front, Mike Moultrie trying to take a move down to the inside of Nick Fuller. As Moultrie is going to lead that lap by a hair over Nick Fuller as they go side by side down into turn number 1. That way, that's D. Zimmerman's mom in the chat. Glad to have you watching. Devin getting the win last week, trying to go back-to-back. Currently running back in the 12th position, battling side by side with newcomer Austin Schultz and Ryan Gomes right there in the mix as well. Here comes Joey Hickok's taking a look down to the inside. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we've got more excitement as the 17 of Daniel Wiles just got a little loose. Slides down onto the apron. He's going to lose a couple positions as they go 3 wide on by. Great save. Unfortunately, going to lose quite a few positions here. As he tries to get back in line, he's going to slide in right behind the 65 of Brandon Zimmerman. Meanwhile, up front, another battle for the lead as Nick Fuller is trying to get back down around the 24 of Mike Moultrie. These two running nose to tail, pulling away from the rest of the field. Joe Wright sitting back in the 3rd position all by himself, trying to get some help from his teammate Devin Butchino to try to get a little bit of a push to go forward. Battling continue back here as Devin Zimmerman takes a dive down underneath Austin Schultz. Right behind, we see Brian Merle Jr. trying to push Zimmerman right on by. Right in front of that, we see the 9 of Ryan Gomes taking a dive down underneath the 17 of Daniel Wiles. Hard racing all over the racetrack right now, including what looks like a battle shaping up for the lead as Moultrie has the 14 of Fuller trying to take a look down to the inside. Again, stage break tonight on lap 35. And caution is out on the racetrack. Oh, it looks like it might be for the 21 of Richard Hurst. That's just a hunch with the way that truck looks. Let's take a look to see what happened to Hurst here. Ooh, a little contact between him and Brian Merle Jr. Ooh, Jr. gets turned hard into the outside wall. Oh! And then Chuck Balance, nowheres to go, clobbers the 21. Let's take a look at this from the roof cam here of the 41 machine. Just how fast it happened, and he had no time to react there as he was not expecting that truck to come off the wall like that. Oops. Trying to ride along here with Richard Hurst so you can see exactly what he saw. Oops. Tough break for those drivers. Brian Merle Jr. and Richard Hurst just racing hard. Really can't fault either driver for that one. So as we roll around here under caution, doesn't look like anybody's going to come down pit road. However, we are about 15 laps from the end of the stage. It looks like the lights on the pace truck should be shutting off when they cross the line next time by. As we are working caution number 3. If you're looking for all the stats and standings for the SCSRA, head on over to simracerhub.com. You can search for the SCSRA. You can find all stats, standings, results, all right there at the tip of your fingertips over at simracerhub.com. Also, don't forget to check out our main sponsor, Blue Ridge Auto Group. If you're looking for a new or used car in the Tennessee area, check out Blue Ridge Auto Group. Link down below in the description. Here we go. Pace truck's lights are off. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Your leader, Mike Moultrie, going to choose the inside lane, putting Nick Fuller up on the outside. Joe Wright, Devin Butchno back in row number 2. And then John Lynch and David Hartney back in row number 3. Row 4 will be Matthew Fritz and Brandon Zimmerman, and row 5 will be Eddie Morris and Daniel Wiles. Nancy Hickok says, good evening. Already had some exciting racing. I'm sure there's more to come. Absolutely. We are just getting started. We haven't even made it to the stage yet. But I think things are going to calm down just a little bit as we do have, like I said, the stage coming up. Fortunately, these drivers will have plenty of fuel to make it to the stage, so nobody's going to have to worry about trying to save anything here. As the pace truck makes the hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. And Mike Moultrie leads him down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are back racing. A big jump for Moultrie as Fuller has Joe Wright looking down to the inside as they head for turns 1 and 2 for the first time. John Lynch able to sneak up in front of David Hartney. Hartney, though, trying to battle back to the inside as Joe Wright now coming up into the mix. He's to the inside of Nick Fuller off of turn number 4 down towards the stripe. Here comes Devin Butchino trying to push the 82 on by the 14. As we are 10 laps from the end of the stage. Nick Fuller able to get back by Joe Wright as they head down into turns 3 and 4. And Fuller with a full head of steam trying to retake the lead from the 24 of Mike Moultrie. So far, the 24 able to hold off that 14 as they go down into turns 1 and 2. A little further back, we've got some side-by-side racing. Rookie John Lynch up on the high side. Devin Butchino down on the low side. Ooh, as Hartney pushes up the track a little bit, almost gives a little bit of a door to the 33 machine. Now Devin Butchino taking a look down to the inside of Joseph Wright. So he's got a little bit of a push here from John Lynch. We're seeing the rookies really make a statement here in the last few races. We have 3 rookies up in the top 5 and 2 veterans. You'll notice the rookies are noted by the white banners on their windshield, while the veterans have the black banners. A couple of drivers unfortunately running the incorrect banner, but that happens from time to time. Devin Butchino looking back down to the inside of Joseph Wright. John Lynch thought about making a 3-wide for a second. Butchino throws a little bit of a block down there. And now Lynch is going to try to force it up through the middle here, or is he just going to try to ride in behind? And ooh, almost some contact between teammates as a Lynch right down to the bottom. Now they're 3 wide towards turn number 1. Close racing there between Devin Butchino and John Lynch. Neither driver wanted to give an inch as we are 5 laps from the end of the stage. And every point on the line, speaking of points, battle back for the lead between Nick Fuller and Mike Moultrie. There's a gaggle of cars back here for 3rd through 9th. As David Hartney tries to go around the outside of Devin Butchino. He's going to get a push here from Lynch. As Lynch now tries to force his way in front of the 68. And now Dave Hartney up into the outside wall. Able to come off the wall, no damage. Oh, contact. We got a wreck here. The 77 and David 17, excuse me, and David Hartney into the outside wall. No caution. We stay green. Hartney trying to get that thing rolling. Looks like he might have done some suspension damage. But we stay green coming to the end of the stage. Like the 9 O'Reilly Gomes might have been part of that as well. On the stage break, we'll go back and take a look at that. But right now, the battle for the lead is heating up as John Lynch has now moved himself up into the 3rd position. Battling side by side with some Neon teammates, Joseph Wright and Devin Butchino. Ryan Gomes down on pit road. So the 55 on pit road just before the end of the stage, before pit road closes. Field comes off of turn number 4, down across the stripe. This will be the last lap of the stage. Mike Moultrie out in front ahead of Nick Fuller. Down the backstretch they come for the final time of the stage. Fuller right there in the tire tracks. Going to make a move down into turn number 3. Side by side off of turn number 4. Moultrie with the run up on the high side down across the stripe. Mike Moultrie is going to win the stage here. Nick Fuller is going to come home in second. Brett Merle, where'd he come from? Now in third place. John O'Lynch in fourth. Devin Butchino comes home fifth. Brandon Zimmerman back in the 6th position. Matthew Fritz falls back to 7th. Eddie Morris in 8th. Joey Hickox and Joe Wright finishes in 10th in the stage. But your stage winner here, Mike Moultrie. As the field's going to come down and get pit stops underway. Let's see if we can see what happened earlier there. Back in this incident with David Hartney. Oh, some contact as a 17. So the 9 went down the track and was coming back up the track. And that's where the 17 kind of came up the track trying to avoid what he thought was going to be a spin. Comes up into Dave Hartney. Both drivers make hard contact with the outside wall. Go back and see what happened to Joe Wright here. He's trying to make a move down to the inside. We see the 11 of Brett Merle really aggressive here. They go 3 wide. Oh, just some contact. And then Joe almost loses it, goes down to the apron to save it. Let's see if we can get a word here with our stage winner, Mike Moultrie. Mike, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I sure do.
Man, congratulations on winning the stage. Looks like a lot of fun racing out there. A lot of wild racing as well. Track temperature's nice and hot and slick. Talk about that stage and how you got yourself up to the front to win it.
Yeah, well, the car has just been pretty good. It's been some real close racing. That high line definitely comes in towards the end of the run. Nick, I'd seen he tried to do a little slide job on me on that last lap, but there's nothing on the bottom once these tires get old, so I was able to hold him off and get it.
Well, great job holding him off. Like I said, it looks like a lot of fun out there. Hopefully the next rest of the race is going to be just as exciting, and good luck the rest of the way out.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. That was your stage winner, Mike Moultrie, as they get ready. Get ready to go green flag racing in a moment. Next time by, the lights will be shutting off. We'll begin going back green flag racing. So lots of excitement, lots of contact out there tonight. A little more contact than I thought we were really expecting there tonight. So So here we go. Lights are off on the pace truck. And Moultrie is going to choose the inside lane, putting Nick Fuller up on the high side. This is going to be an exciting run to the finish here. Again, 110 laps is the scheduled distance. That does not include any green-white checkers that we might have here tonight. As the pace car takes the hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flags back in the air. Another great jump from your leader, Mike Moultrie, as they go down into turn number 1. Nick Fuller trying to battle with the 11 of Brett Merle. Here comes John Lynch down to the inside of Merle, trying to take over the 3rd spot. Already, the field's starting to get a little more spread out on this restart. And all 27 trucks that started this race are currently still on the racetrack. See a little 3-wide racing trying to happen back here. David Wright in the middle. Tyler Aspinall up to the high side. The 77 of Cole Owens down to the low side. And Aspinall able to get a 2-for-1 deal up into the 11th position. Currently up just one position where he started, although a big mover is D. Wright. David Wright currently runs in the 10th position. He started back in the 26th position. So up 16 spots from where he started. Having a fantastic run. Another driver who's having a good run is the 11 of Brett Merle. Brett's up 17 spots from where he started. We saw that tremendous run he had there at the end of the stage. Now he's continuing to work his way up through the field. But the class of the field so far tonight has been these two. The 24 of Mike Moultrie and the 14 of Nick Fuller. Right now these two are starting to pull away from the rest of the field just a little bit. We are coming up on 10 laps away from halfway. Bit of a battle back here between between Matthew Fritz. We see David Hartney in the mix. Joe Wright. Austin Schultz was just in this one. He's pulling away from that group back there. Brett Merle taking a look down to the inside of John Lynch, trying to take away that 3rd spot, and he's going to take it. Battle forming for the lead here as Nick Fuller was trying to make a move down on the bottom, but you heard Mike talk about it in the stage interview there. It's just so hard to make passes down on the bottom. And while we have a moment, I normally don't talk anything political or world related, but I just noticed the John Lynch truck right here. Awesome tribute paint that he is running on that machine with the Israeli flag on the hood. So awesome, awesome paint job right there. Thoughts go out to everybody who's involved in that conflict earlier. Hopefully it gets resolved quickly. But while that's going on, here comes Eddie Morris to the high side of John Lynch. And Eddie, who fell back in the first stage, now finds himself moving back towards the front here, up into the 4th position. Riley Gomes, who is sideways just before the end of the stage, now finds himself up into the 7th position, battling with Brandon Zimmerman. Trying to take over 6th, right behind Devin Butchino and Devin Zimmerman battling side by side. A couple of Devins. Actually, Devin Zimmerman's a little bit further back than I thought he was. I thought he was battling right there with Butchino. Although Zimmerman is in a little bit of his own battle here with the 84 of Dave Wright, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, and Brian Merle Jr. right there in the mix as well. Meanwhile, Matt Riley Gomes trying to hold off a hard-charging Devin Butchino, running back in the 8th position. Cheeseburger to the high side of David Wright. He's going to move around Dave Wright. Now he's going to try to battle with Devin Zimmerman. See Brian Merle Jr. driving all the way down the apron, trying to take the shortest way around, trying to gain whatever ground he can on the drivers in front of him. As Cheesy B moves up into the 9th position around Devin Zimmerman. Zimmerman, though, looks like he's going to try to take a look back down to the inside. But as we've seen, that inside lane just not able to make anything happen. Dave Wright working up to the high side. Another trackside driver. The 18 of Blaze Richardson right here in the mix. Blaze is going to follow Brian Merle Jr. right on by Dave Wright. And now Tyler Aspinall up to the high side, trying to move himself forward as well. Meanwhile, John O'Lynch still has Brandon Zimmerman trying to move down to the inside. Tina, are we still having sound issues? I apologize. Everything looks solid on my end. But anyone else, let me know in the chat if you're having sound issues, as we'll see what we can do to try to work through them here. Brian Merle Jr. down to the inside of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Jr. trying to take over that 10th spot. This gaggle of trucks right here. This is a battle for 9th through 14th. So a little contact there almost between Dave Wright and Blaze Richardson as they're able to keep it going straight. Meanwhile, battle starting to pick back up front here between Mike Moultrie and Nick Fuller. Fuller down to the bottom, trying to make that pass happen. Slides up the track, side by side, down across the line. And that time by Nick Fuller is going to lead that lap by a hair. So he's trying to get back by the 24. But the 24, as he mentioned, that high side, such an advantage here as they try to roll up off of turn number 2. We are side by side, door to door for the lead. As we come to the stripe this time, we'll be halfway through the race. Nick Fuller now trying to use the low lane through the apron, trying to gain and slide job up in front of the 24. He will, but the 24 dives back down to the bottom. He's going to try to put a slide job on his phone. Not able to make that happen as Nick Fuller now takes full control of the lead. And Mike Moultrie falls back into the 2nd position. Eddie Morris now taking a look down to the inside of Brett Merle. Merle, though, able to hold off a hard-charging Eddie Morris and John Lynch right there as well. Thanks for the confirmation on the sound, guys. I appreciate it. And Nancy, I agree. Everybody needs a little bit of support over in that area right now. Lynch now to the inside of Eddie Morris, and we see Brandon Zimmerman right there in the mix, trying to push his way through as well. Now Zimmerman down to the inside of Lynch, battling side by side with Eddie Morris. They come down the backstretch, and sometimes you want to be right there on the door of your competitor, trying to use a little side draft to dump the air that's coming off your truck onto the spoiler of the driver next to you. Right now we're seeing a lot of give and take and a lot of respect given out there tonight. But as the laps wind down, I'm sure we're going to see more and more pinching and more side drafting. Way back in the field, we see Rick Ward battling with Cole Owens and Michael Provolt. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in front. We see Joe Wright, who was so fast early in the race, now back in the pack, and I don't know if he has damage on that truck that he just didn't get fixed from contact earlier or what, but he is currently being scored back in the 19th position. And Butchino has been able to get around Riley Gomes. And Butchino doing everything he can to keep that Gomes truck behind him. Well, further up, Eddie Morris, Brett Merle and Eddie Morris still trying to battle it out for the third position. So right now our leaders are just pulling away from third on back. See Nick Fuller out in front of Mike Moultrie by about 0.7 of a second. Then from Moultrie back to this battle is another 2 seconds. So our two leaders flying out there right now. Last time by, they were almost 0.2 of a second quicker than the drivers behind them. Another battle back here between Lynch and Brandon Zimmerman. We saw Devin Butchino trying to make his mark made in this mix as well, but currently just watching these two go at it. Eddie Morris now down to the bottom, trying to pull a slide job on Brett Merle, but Merle up on the high side, able to keep that high lane momentum and stay out in front currently. Great side-by-side battle here. Now, all their drivers were back on, or last on pit road on lap 37. I imagine we'll start seeing drivers come down pit road within the next 5 laps or so. Once the first driver makes their way down on the pit road, everybody's going to follow them down. The question is, who's that first driver going to be? Still, we have some great hard racing all the way through the field as Blaze Richardson taking a look down to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. And unfortunately for the Venom Racing boys, not having a very good night tonight. You see 3 of them running nose to tail back here. Joey Hickox, Jay Stinson, Richard Hurst, all running back 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. While that's going on, we see John O'Lynch running up in the 6th position. And the 29 of Matthew Fritz, well, he's right up here, just about 5 seconds out in front of Joey Hickox. So Matthew running back in the 21st position. That's a great battle still all over the track. John O'Lynch was trying to make a move around Brandon Zimmerman. Now Zimmerman's going to dive down underneath Eddie Morris, try to take away that 4th position. Right along here on the back bumper of Brandon Zimmerman. See just how tight the racing is back here. He tries to make another move down to the inside of Eddie Morris. This time he's going to try a slide job right up in front of Eddie. Just not quite clear enough to make that move happen. And this time it looks like he is going to slide right in front of the 8. Now the 33 thought about making a move down to the inside. And move Brandon Zimmerman up into the 4th position as Eddie Morris and John O'Lynch battle side by side. Ooh, Lynch got up the racetrack just a little bit. Got a little loose. We ride along here with Lynch. See him working the wheel inside the truck here. Ooh. Little contact there. Oh, he's losing it. He's spinning. Oh, Lynch into the outside wall. Able to hang on to it, no caution. What a save from John O'Lynch. Let's take a look to see exactly what happened here. I know it looks like he just got a little, so looks like the 65 got a little bit loose there, which caused the 33 to get a little loose. Completely sideways. Oh, catches Devin Zimmerman hard up into the outside wall. We have our first drivers coming down pit road. Nick Fuller, Mike Moultrie, Brett Merle, Austin Schultz, Cole Owens, all down on pit road. That's going to give the lead of the race to Eddie Morris. More drivers down on pit road. Tyler Aspinall loses it coming down on pit road, and Brandon Zimmerman and Brian Merle Jr. There goes Devin Zimmerman right there. So more troubles for drivers coming down on the pit road. And we stay green. So Devin Zimmerman, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Tyler Aspinall, David Hartney, Brian Merle Jr., Rick Ward, Brandon Zimmerman, all on pit road. Here's Eddie Morris hitting pit road. It's going to give the lead of the race to Devin Butchino, who's got these trucks on fresh tires, trying to get their laps back. Those who are going to be our leaders when things cycle around here. Riley Gomes right here as well. Let's see if Butchino comes down pit road this time. Looks like him and Riley Gomes going to slow down and make it on to pit road. Dave Wright on the pit road as well. Matthew Fritz coming down on the pit road. It's a tricky pit road to get onto. It comes up so quickly, and you have to slow down from 170 miles an hour down to just 40 miles an hour. So it looks like pit lane speed is about 50 miles an hour or so. So from 170 down to 50, it's a hard turn down. Looks like the Venom Boys is going to make their way down on the pit road, along with the 55 of Riley Gomes. And that is going to give the lead of the race back to Mike Moultrie. Nick Fuller currently about a second behind. Then Brett Merle runs back in the third spot. Eddie Morris back in fourth, and then Austin Schultz up into the fifth position. A couple of the trackside drivers going at it right here, between Riley Gomes and Blaze Richardson. Blaze going to end up on top here. Going to move himself up into the seventh position. And Eddie Morris, Brett Merle going at it side by side. It's a battle for the third and final podium spot. So they come around this time and cross the start-finish line. We're going to have just 30 laps to go. Mike Moultrie leads out in front of Nick Fuller by almost 2.5 seconds. Then Fuller out in front of Eddie Morris by almost 8 seconds. A bit of a battle back here. This is a battle for the 12th position. 12th, 13th, and 14th on the racetrack. That's Devin Zimmerman, Michael Provolt, and Brian Merle Jr. And Provolt taking a look down to the inside of Zimmerman. Brian Merle Jr. trying to figure out which lane is going to move better. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Joe Wright, Brandon Zimmerman, and Riley Gomes are all battling at it. This is for 8th, 9th, and 10th. And on the field, battling with Tyler Aspinall falling backwards right now. Wonder if Tyler's has some issues or if he's just trying to save a little bit of fuel here. Trying to make it to the end without stopping again. Let's listen along. Oh yeah, you hear him shutting that truck all the way off. Tyler Aspinall trying to save fuel. Trying to see if he can make it to the end without having to stop again. Meanwhile, we almost had some three-wide racing as Joe Wright finds himself on the good side of this one. Slides out in front of Brandon Zimmerman and Riley Gomes, who are still battling at it side by side. And this battle's subsided a little bit with Devin Zimmerman starting to pull away from Michael Provolt and John Lynch. Brian Merrill Jr. is driven through this pack. So he's working to the inside of David Wright. And we have just 25 laps to go. So a race that started with a few early cautions. We had 3 cautions before the stage. After the stage, we've been green flag racing. Question is, do some of these drivers have to come down pit road one more time to top off? Are any of these drivers banking on a caution? So if the caution comes out, it changes the entire dynamic of the race. Dave Wright, Devin Zimmerman side by side. Zimmerman up into the 12th position. And this battle continues. Meanwhile, the other Zimmerman, Brandon Zimmerman, battling with Riley Gomes. It's a battle for 9th and 10th. So we approach 20 laps to go. I see Mike Moutre still out in front, trying to put the 31 of Jay Stinson a lap down. He's put some separation between himself and Nick Fuller. Nick Fuller currently runs back in the 2nd position. He is almost 3 seconds behind. How about Eddie Morris, who is running down the 14 of Nick Fuller? It's been pretty even back and forth between these drivers. But Eddie Morris holding solidly on that podium spot. Now Tyler Aspinall's fallen all the way back to the 18th position. And we heard him saving fuel earlier. Now he's running up on that high side. That's not going to save any fuel at all running up there, but we'll see if he tries to make a charge back through the field here. And if anybody else decides or realizes that they're close on fuel and has to start saving. Here's Adam Schultz up in the 5th position, up 22 spots from where he started. New driver just joined the league today and having an impressive outing in his first race. This battle is still heating up here between Joseph Wright and Riley Gomes. Gomes doing everything he can to try to get underneath the 82. Now he's going to choose the outside here as they come down through the front stretch and towards turn number 1. You know, if I had to compare Joe Wright to a NASCAR driver, I would say he's very similar to Ryan Newman. He's just impossible to pass. He runs hard no matter what you're doing. He's going to make you earn every position. We're seeing that right now with Riley Gomes trying to take that position away. 3 wide racing. Devin Butchino down on the bottom. Blaze Richardson was the meat in the sandwich. And Austin Schultz trying to hold on to that 5th spot. As Butchino is going to move up into that 5th position. Blaze Richardson trying to follow through as well. As we are 15 laps from the end of the event. And Eddie Morris has moved himself up into 2nd place around Nick Fuller. Now Fuller trying to run back down. And now look at this. Mike Moultrie had over about a 5 to 7 second lead. And it has erased. I think these drivers are now starting to look at that fuel gauge and realize how much fuel they don't have to make it to the end of the race, as Eddie Morris is going to dive down to the inside and try to take the lead away from the driver of the 24. See that green and black truck of David Hartney? He is currently a lap down. "13 laps to go." Now the big question is, who has saved enough? Does anybody have to pit again? Are we going to see drivers running out on the last lap? In the Doghouse Racing League race we just watched, the 2nd place driver ran out of fuel coming off of turn number 4. Could we see something like that again tonight here in the SCSRA? We'll find out in just 13 laps time. Eddie Morris doing everything he can, trying to get around this 24 machine, just not able to make it happen. At the same time, Eddie Morris is able to save a little bit of fuel riding behind that 24 machine. That's because as he's riding behind, that 24 is pushing all the air around. And that 8 is benefiting from the lack of air on the nose, dragging that truck down. So that 8 truck is able to save just a smidge more fuel. That could come down to the end here. That could be the difference here as they cross the line. Morris now looking down to the inside. And Eddie Morris is going to take the lead with 10 laps to go. But can he hold on to the lead for 10 laps? Tries to pull a little bit of a slide job there, but Moultrie able to keep that high lane momentum and take the lead back away going down into turn number 3. While these two are battling side by sides, allowed Nick Fuller to pull back up. Eddie Morris slides up in front. Here comes the crossover by Moultrie. Down across the stripe, 9 laps to go. Ooh, Eddie Morris lays the bumper to the 24. Getting down into the corner, checks them both up. That allows Nick Fuller to get the run down the backstretch in towards turn number 3. Ooh, Eddie Morris up into the wall. That's going to allow Nick Fuller and Mike Moultrie to pull away. Eight laps to go. And Nick Fuller trying to make something happen there on the bottom of the racetrack. Eddie Morris trying to get his bearings back and try to run these leaders back down. Nick Fuller looking back down to the inside. Side by side for the lead. Nick Fuller down on the low side. Mike Moultrie up on the high side. Eddie Morris waiting in the wings in case something happens between these two. Maybe he could steal the win here on the last lap. Side by side down into turn at number 3. Eddie Morris with a run now up on the high lane. He was not able to take it as he is caught right back up to the 24. And Nick Fuller fully takes over the lead here, coming across the stripe with 5 laps to go. This time Eddie Morris dives down to the inside. Eddie just not able to hold on to the lead as they come down into turns 3 and 4. Morris up to the top of the track. Moultrie trying to run in the middle. Nick Fuller's all the way down on the bottom. We come down to the stripe. Just 4 laps to go. And don't look now while this is going on. Look what's coming from behind. Devin Bucciano. Show that time delta here. And you see that lead, that group is getting closer and closer as he's now looking down to the inside of Moultrie. And Devin Bucciano is going to move up into the 3rd position. With 3 laps to go, does Bucciano have enough tires and fuel to make it up to the lead? The battle for the lead is now continuing. I think Moultrie might realize that he does not have enough fuel to make it to the end. And he had to dive out of it and start saving to make it there. 2 laps to go here at Chicagoland. Nick Fuller out in front by a half a second over Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris has his teammate Devin Bucciano closing in on him as we come down the backstretch. Bucciano's there on the back bumper of Eddie Morris down into turns 3 and 4. Nick Fuller off of turn number 4, sees the white flag. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap around as Devin Bucciano looks to the high side of Eddie Morris here as they come down the front stretch and into turn number 1 for the final time. What the run there from Devin Bucciano. Going to take over the 2nd spot. Does he have enough to chase down Nick Fuller? Coming down into turns 3 and 4, Fuller sees the checkered flag in the air off of turn number 4. Despite everything Devin Bucciano is doing, Nick Fuller comes across the stripe and wins. Devin Bucciano brings it home 2nd. Eddie Morris comes home 3rd. Blaze Richardson with a great run in 4th. And Mike Moultrie rounds out in the 5th position. But how about that? Nick Fuller able to save enough fuel to get himself the win here at Chicagoland. So he's going to make his way all the way around the front to the front stretch. I think he might be out of fuel. Yeah, Nick Fuller out of fuel. Get a little push there from the admin so he can get up there and get the traditional picture done. We'll see if the 14 has any fuel left to celebrate. Though it does not look like anybody's got enough fuel left to celebrate here. Let's take a look at the rundown. Nancy asked where the Venom guys were. Let's take a look at the final results. Again, Nick Fuller getting the win. Devin Butchino comes home in second. Eddie Morris brings it home third. Blaze Richardson and Mike Moultrie round out your top five. Brett Murrow brings it home in sixth. Riley Gomes back in seventh. Devin Zimmerman, Brandon Zimmerman, and Brian Merle Jr. round out your top 10. Michael Provo in the 11th spot, our first Venom driver. John O'Lynch back in 12th. Matthew Fritz in 13th. D. Wright, Rick Ward round out the top 15. Then Tyler Aspinall back in 16th. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence back in the 17th spot. Jay Stinson back in 18th. 19th was Richard Hurst, and 20th was Joseph Wright. 21st, Joey Hickox. Austin Schultz brings it home in 22nd. Daniel Wiles back in the 23rd spot. Dave Hartney and Ryan Gomes round out your top 25 with Chuck Balance and Cole Owens rounding out the field here tonight at Chicagoland. As we get ready to talk to our top three, get our camera set and our images up. Let's talk to our drivers here, starting with your third place finisher, Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
First off, it's going great. First off, great paint job with that patriotic paint here tonight. Really digging it. Fast truck all night long. Started on pole, fell back a little bit. Caught a lot of cautions there before the stage. Kind of played into the fuel mileage there at the end. And then just a wild finish there. Drivers saving fuel coming through the field. Talk about those last few laps there, especially trying to hold off Devin, who was just flying.
Well, that last stint, man, like I had enough gas to go the rest of the way. I didn't have to save. I think I still had like 2 or 3, maybe 2 laps whenever I crossed the line there, so I'd have been good. Just people slowing me down, people pulling in front of you, making stupid blocks and stuff like that. And I keep this little notebook next to my sim rig, and I've added a couple different people to it so far tonight. So you'll start racing these boys how they want to race. They want to slow me down. I won't. I'm usually one of the guys that'll let you go if you're faster. You know, I ain't trying to slow you down from a win or nothing, but if that's how they want to do it, we can do it that way. Be a fun season. Finally coming back together. Podium, P3. Yeah, man, looking forward for the rest of the season. And Devin was fast, bro. Like he comes shooting out of a cannon. I told him, I was like, man, before that last lap, I was like, bro, if you're faster than me, take it. I won't slow you down. And he's like, no, man, you're good. And he ended up getting by me there. I tried sending it in 1, I think it was, and it just didn't stick. So, and that's when he got by me. He'd have got by me either way. He was a lot faster there at the end. But good win to Fuller. Yeah, man.
Kind of a tale of two races, and like you said, people cutting people off. A lot of aggressive racing here tonight, but a lot of hard racing. And for that final run, there was some real hard racing there throughout the field. Are you kind of surprised that we had that long green flag run there at the end?
I was pretty surprised, yeah. But everybody got that all mess out of their system in the first stage, evidently, because because it felt like there was quite a few cautions in that. But like I said, we cleaned it up in the after the stage, and it's pretty good on the group of guys, and yeah, man. Like I said, I'm taking notes on how to race people. So.
Well, awesome job. I think that's your first podium of the season, if I'm not mistaken, in the Truck Series. So great job on that here tonight. And before I let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you got to give here tonight?
Of course, brother. Shout out to you guys at Intensity Broadcasting. Josh Hall is, the man that brings you this every week in our Truck Series, and we just appreciate him being here to do it. Shout out to Blue Ridge Auto Group for being the series sponsor. Appreciate those guys coming on this season. Shout out to Dev Sports Cards. Christmas is coming up. Go check them out. Get that sports lover some sports memorabilia. Get some of that early Christmas shopping done. Man, Josh, you said it, man. This truck was awesome looking. It was as fast as it is good looking, I guess. Shout out to Morris Customs for that. Shout out to everybody that allows me to do this. Of course, my awesome teammates. I got Dev. Of course, he finished P2. You'll hear from him in a minute. Joe Wright was having a pretty awesome run. I told him before the race, man, it's like, you're really good at these goofy tracks that I just can't seem to grasp. And I was kind of shooting for him to get a better finish than what he did tonight. But, yeah, D. Wright, shout out to him. And appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, again, awesome job tonight. Good luck tomorrow night at Darlington, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, brother. Hey, just want to let you know it's 11:01.
Okay, have a good night. What's your third place finisher? Eddie Morris. Let's talk to our second place finisher, Devin Butchino, who we can't talk too long because Eddie just reminded us it's 11:01. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead and let's. Awesome run here tonight, man. You were flying there on that last run. Where did you come from? That's the question on everybody's mind. What, you were just back there battling, and all of a sudden you were there with the leaders. Talk us through that last stint there, and what you're able to do to save your tires and fuel to get there at the end.
Yeah, we restarted with. Let's see if I can do the math in my head. Carry the ones for it's like 70 to go, and I feel like a max fuel run here was like 35 laps, not saving. So. We went green on 40, so I'm like, man, we just have to make it to 75. And then we did enough saving. We're super committed to the bottom all night. Some guys were working the top, but I am just Kevin Harvick on that bottom, man, just living on the white line. And we were able to stretch it to 76. So that means on the second run, we only had to go 34 laps. So we were good on fuel to the end. It was kind of just buying our time, backing up our corners a little bit, but we could definitely race a little bit harder than the guys in front of us. And I thought we were going to get there, man. The lap times, I mean, the crew chief was telling me we're beating those guys by 6-7 tenths a lap. And I thought we were going to have time. Nick got clear, and it allowed him to, save a little bit, because I don't know if you caught it on the broadcast, but he ran out like maybe 20 feet before the line. I saw the exhaust kick out, and I'm like, dang it, man, second again. But that was a blast, man. We were making a push. We went from like 3 seconds back to there in the last 10 laps. And I think just being able to go that extra lap made it to where we didn't have to really save at all. I was more saving tires the first 15 laps. And then with 20 to go, we turned it on and was pushing it a bit more. But I'm glad the race held in. We got some green. It played out with, all these strategies converging, and we got second again. So hopefully we can do one better next week, which we won't because we're on dirt. So
we're going to have to change that number to 40 for next week. But awesome. It's just awesome job for the whole Neon team. You guys were showing some speed up there up front all night long, and the cautions kind of fell early and often, and then we had that long green flag stint. Were you kind of surprised with that, or did your strategy kind of play for more if we would have got a late race caution there?
Yes and no. I don't know if you were talking to us when me and Joe and Eddie and D were talking about it, but we kind of foresaw how the first stage of this race would go. I mean, the top 19 in qualifying were separated by a tenth, and you're pretty wide open here. It's a tough track to pass. You're going to have guys getting into each other, but I just feel like this league, man, just settles in after that stage break, and we get a lot of green. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the last time we had a green-white checkered. I mean, if you can tell me, which I enjoy, man. I like settling settling down and racing there at the end. But yeah, we played for that, make it 35, 36 laps and then do 34 at the end. You have to play for green. I used to play for the craziest strategies that you need caution to come out right exactly here for it to work. So yeah, we played for the long green flag run. We were saving from the drop of the green from the stage, and it almost worked out. If he ran out about 200 feet sooner, we would have been locked in. So it was a great race. So I hope you had a good time, Josh.
I enjoyed the race, and it was wild all the way through the race. And again, congratulations on the runner-up here tonight. Before I let you go, anyone want to thank? Any shots you got to give? Yeah,
I want to just congratulate Nick on his win. I mean, those white banner rookies are kicking our butts here in the trucks to start the season. So 3 weeks, 3 first-time winners. Congrats to him. I think we're going to see a lot of winners here this season, so points are going to be very important. Thank you, Josh, for spending your night doing this for us. Hope you're excited and show up for tomorrow, Darlington. Thank you to Intensity, Dev Sports Cards, Morse Customs on the car. We're either really good or really bad in this paint scheme, so I'm happy we're on the really good side. Shout out to Eddie. He does a lot of paints, does a lot of all the banners, does a lot of work for this league. The graphics for the points. Shout out to my Neon teammates. Joe was really quick. D was really quick. Just got caught some traffic there at the end, I think. And thank you to everyone, that makes this league what it is. 27 cars, great field, great battling throughout the field. And just everyone. Appreciate it, Josh.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm not looking forward to Darlington tomorrow night, but I'll be there, and we'll see you then.
Absolutely, brother.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Now let's bring in your winner here, driver of the 14 machine, Nick Fuller. Nick, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I copy.
Man, showing those white stripes on the top of that truck don't mean anything all season long, it seems. Up at the front, getting a win here tonight. Congratulations on that. Man, that truck was bad fast, and I heard you ran out of fuel right as you were crossing the line. So talk about your strategy there and, what got you the win here tonight.
Yeah, well, the qualifying third was big. I was pretty happy about that. Wasn't sure where I was going to fall. I liked my lap, but, it's a tough field, so it could easily been like 10th place, and I wouldn't have been surprised. But that was a good start, so I just kind of had to hold on where I was. I was kind of happy. Just content staying up front. And then in that second run, me and the 24 started pulling away, and I realized after the fact it's because we were saving way less gas than everybody else. So I got myself in a little bit of a pickle for that last run, and I just was saving for like 20 straight laps because I realized I kind of screwed myself over. And I can't believe that I saved enough, man. I was to the point where at some laps I wasn't saving there at the end when I got some draft because I wanted to have some good lap times when I had the opportunity to sniff some draft, and then also saving, and then it was kind of back and forth, saving, not saving for like the last 5 to 10 laps there, man. It was nuts. I can't believe it worked out in my favor at the end there.
Yeah, that was some wild racing there. All race long, really, between you and Miltree as well. It seemed like you guys couldn't get away from each other, but you guys got away from the rest of the field. We had all those cautions there. I'm going to ask the same question I asked everybody else. We had a lot of cautions there at the beginning of the race. Did that kind of concern you there at the end that we might see a late race caution that would stack the field back up and give everybody a chance, or did you were hoping for a long green flag run there?
Once I realized I kind of screwed up the second cycle and didn't have enough gas for the third, I was hoping for a caution, but I honestly wasn't thinking one would come. I've been in enough of these like Auto Club, Michigan, these type of Chicagoland type of races that they don't come at the end. The track's too big. People can let off the gas. It's just like I wasn't expecting it, and it didn't come. So saving ended up working out.
Well, again, awesome job at getting your first win of the season, locking yourself into the playoffs. That's always a good thing to do at the beginning of the season. And before I let you go, Nick, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Hey, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast, for all the admins in the league, the race control, everybody handling all the things behind the scenes, doing points, all that good stuff to keep that league going. Always appreciative of everybody putting on the show so we can all have a good time every Tuesday night.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate you. Congratulations on the win, and good luck next week on the dirt.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun.
Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
There you have it, your winner here tonight. Nick Fuller, running out of fuel about 20 feet from the line, gets the win over Devin Butchino, gets his first career SCSRA victory, and locks himself into the playoffs. That's going to do it for us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to check out our website over at intensityracing.com. Don't forget to check out the great links down below. Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching. The Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Our website. Also check out Blue Ridge Auto Group, their series sponsor, as well as check out Dev Sports Cards. Link is not there, but you can get that tomorrow night at NOMA. I'll have that linked in the description next week. Again, join us next week for another Tuesday night doubleheader. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over